So it's Raj here with EQ Music, and I'm sitting here with the fantastic Cub Sport, all the way over from Australia.
Hello.
Welcome to Camden Town, guys.
Thank you.
So you guys are here promoting Bats.
That's right.
What's it been like so far? What's the UK reception of it?
It's been really nice. Yeah, we've had a few things in a couple of days here, so it's been pretty jam-packed. But yeah, it's nice to be over here and talking to people about the album.
Fantastic. I immediately, as soon as I saw the name Cub Sport, I was immediately intrigued. I was like, oh, I got to listen to them. And then I saw the video for Chasin. I was like, oh, that's a band I can get behind. Strong.
I don't even know what I want out of life, what I'm chasing. Is it hard to see me go? 'Cause I miss you when I'm gone. Is it worth feeling alone for so long?
What was it like making the song and video for Chasin?
It was one of those things where everything sort of just fell into place. We were originally going to be shooting it in Melbourne with another director who we hadn't met or anything, and it just wasn't quite working out with our schedules, and we ended up doing it with one of our friends who we'd worked with before, and yeah, it all just sort of fell into place perfectly. That the guy who styled that video just sort of turned up on the morning, and we just like figured it out really quickly, and yeah, it was pretty cool. And like just by chance, two of the locations in the video were like our childhood homes where we'd grown up.
Oh, really?
Like, wasn't planned. The director took us to one of the locations, and Sam's like, oh whoa, this is like my childhood home.
Literally outside of it.
Wow.
Which is down an alleyway too. It's bizarre.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So it felt cosmic. It all just like came together.
For those of us who are sort of discovering you guys for the first time, like myself, you guys have been doing this for a little bit. You had another album out. Tell us about some of the music maybe before Cub Sport, some of the Boy Scout era.
Yeah, well, we
Boy Scouts era, I think.
Started out as Cub Scouts, and yeah, I guess there's been a huge stylistic shift as we've developed as musicians, songwriters, and as people. I think at the start we were really quite young and I don't think we quite knew what we were aiming for, but we were just sort of making music that we found fun, and it was really enjoyable doing that. But I think kind of taking a step into like a more personal sort of realm and kind of putting more of our true selves into what we're doing feels like it's sort of brought the music to a more, I don't know, it's like it feels more important to me, and it seems to be connecting with people in a more meaningful way, which is really cool to see.
Fantastic. You guys have been a big supporter of gay marriage in Australia, and I love how you bring that little political message to your music. Do you feel it's important to be political in your music in these strange days that we live in?
I feel like
something we set out to do, but given the platform we have, and especially the political climate in Australia over the past sort of 12 months, it felt really important to use that to sort of promote a message of equality and support people who maybe didn't have support networks going through the same-sex marriage postal vote. So yeah, I guess we didn't feel the expectation that we would do it, but it was something we wanted to focus on.
Fantastic. It was quite funny being an outsider looking in on Facebook, where we've had gay marriage in the UK and the US pass. Mm-hmm. The world didn't implode. And it's funny seeing those same arguments crop up again in Australia, but glad to know that you guys won in the end, which is fantastic. So tell us about the new single and video for Good Guy Go. Tell us a little bit about
Good Guys Go is one of the songs on the album that isn't actually autobiographical.
Okay.
I was inspired by, I guess, observing a lot of the relationships that people around me were in, and I would see these situations where like amazing women in our lives would be kind of just not being given the respect or like devotion or something that they deserved, and it's like frustrating and sad to see them going unappreciated. And I think that sort of, that's what inspired that song.
Where do I go so I wanna know. Where's the one I wanna find? I mean, I've been doing fine, but
And then for the video, I think I wanted it to, I guess, capture the mood of the song, and I feel like it's kind of an emotional song, but it's also kind of like, it's like moody, but still sort of has that gentle vibe that the album has, and it's kind of, one of the like sexier sounding tracks on the album, I guess, and I thought it'd be a good opportunity to take it in another sort of new direction and keep pushing the Cub Sport vision into new territory.
Let's speak about your sound and your vision. What really struck a chord with me in listening to the album is the very religious sort of sound that it has, like with the church organs and things like that. Was that intentional for this record, or is it something that you decided, hey, that works with what we're going for?
Yeah, I feel like
Oh Lord, feels like a gospel song to me, a very good one, like, how gospel songs should be these days. But
during the writing and recording process, I wasn't really aiming for a particular sound or style. I was sort of just following what felt right, and it was a process of, I guess, just like seeing what came to me and letting it flow, and then if something didn't feel quite right, like trying a different sound. And it's kind of just how it came together and where it got to a place where I felt like it had arrived at like where it needed to be. And I think like those gentle organs and stuff, it's all quite warm, which is, I don't know, I feel like the album as a whole is kind of gentle and warm, which was kind of the experience, like the feeling of the like course of the couple of years over which I wrote the album. So I think it's kind of just a thing that happened as me putting what I was experiencing into like a musical expression of that.
Fantastic. I'm hoping you can clear up a little bit of a mystery for me, because one of my favorite tracks on the album, I have no idea what it's about, is Hawaiian Party. So tell us about that song. I think it's been my burning question since I've heard the album.
Hawaiian Party is about, I guess, just the restlessness with everyday life. That was one of the earlier songs that I wrote for the album, and it was at a time when things weren't really like picking up the way that we would have loved them to back then, and it was sort of a time where I wanted to be busy with music and I wanted to be able to put all of my time into that, but I guess just like the path that we're on and the timeline of when things were meant to happen, like it wasn't quite the right time, and so there were a lot of just those everyday life things like suburban house parties and stuff that I guess start to get boring, and you kind of get over it, and it's kind of just about that, like being over hearing about just like these everyday cycles.
It's literally like you listen to the album and it's like, is he saying Hawaiian Party? And then you look at the track list and like, yeah, he is. Like,
Yep.
Cool. You've been heavily touring in Australia, and you're bringing your live show to the States and in London here at the Waiting Room in May. Tell us a little bit about the live show and what we can expect.
Well,
it's the most we've ever put into the live show on the upcoming tour. We're traveling with a lighting rig and a little crew for the first time.
Okay.
So I think on a visual level, it's going to sort of push further than it's ever gone before.
And I'd say musically, like as like the one singing the songs, I guess I've never felt this connected to songs that we've been playing before. So it feels like there's like a new energy or something, and I'm like the way that people seem to have responded to a lot of these new songs and the message, and I guess like a lot of it being about us, and then getting to perform that together and share that with people. Yeah, I don't know, I'm super excited for that side of it, that sort of connection with the audience.
Well, fantastic. I've been waiting to see the show for a while, so I'll be there in the front row, hopefully, and cheering along and singing along. Thank you guys for the chat today, and any sort of parting words for EQ Music readers?
Thank you for being across us and the support.
Fantastic. All right.